So the last kind of angle, which is the worst one because it doesn't make complete sense unless you really think about it, is an angle with a vertex inside the circle, not at the center. That's a horrible name, okay? It doesn't have a name. So vertex inside the circle is usually what I say, inside the circle. This would technically work for a central angle, but the rule is harder to remember, so we don't really use it for a central angle. So vertex inside the circle, parentheses, not center. All right, so let's pick one. So let's say this angle right here. So there's my angle. There's my vertex, not the center of the circle. If I just was like, well, what's its arc? Then it's right here. Now, I could go through a really long explanation. I'm not going to, all right? But if it was equal to the arc, then that'd be okay. But this angle over here on the opposite side would be equal to that arc. And the problem that this creates is these two angles, this one and this one, so they're both angles there at E in the middle, they're vertical. They have to be congruent. If these arcs aren't congruent, which they're clearly not, none of the rules that we already have are going to work to figure out what those angles are. So what happens is I actually have to take these two arcs and add them together and divide by 2, which is taking the average. And this assures that those two angles are the same. So it says right here, and again, I said this is the worst one. So their measurement is equal to half the sum of its intercepted arc and its vertical angles intercepted arc. So for this problem, what I say is intercepted arcs are AD and BC. And I put a little star by it because it clearly does not intercept that arc, but its vertical angle does. And that means that it has to be involved. So for this one, I would do 1/2 times AD plus BC. That's what I would do to get the angle. And you know this is the worst one. All right, I'm telling you it's the worst one. If I had to pick one out that I think 1 out of 10 people will get right, it's this one. So this is the one to pay the most attention to when you're actually studying if you want to get these right. Because this is the one that you're gonna miss if they're all on there. Okay, it's pretty easy to narrow things down with the central and the inscribed. The angle on the outside, it's not that bad to figure out that you do something with the arcs together and subtracting them makes the most sense. With this one, it's just not something you think of when you're trying to guess. So this is the most important one to make sure that you actually know the rule.